Hello everyone, this is Amit Goswami, quantum scientist, consciousness researcher and a quantum activist. I want to talk to you about sustainability. Usually the term means sustainability in economics. We live in an economic time when we are confronted with a tremendous crisis problem. We have a forever expanding economy, and then we have the articles of the economy, material objects, material resources, material energy. All these articles are finite. We live on a finite planet, and so the fear is that we'll run out of resources. Not unfounded fear either. Sooner or later, maybe much sooner than we think, we are going to run out of resources, most serious of which is energy. So the question, can we form an economy which is sustainable? There are some energy sources that are virtually inexhaustible. They all derive from solar energy. Although people talk about nuclear energy, but that's not really a viable option for a variety of reasons. The most important reason being terrorism. We should not have too many nuclear power plants because it gives a very ready-made material for atomic bombs in the hands of terrorists. But anyway, that's not the subject that I want to talk about. I want to talk about how to make the economy in such a way that it is sustainable. But you know, my work began when I was at an airport hotel, and I saw a sign many years ago. I saw a sign of 3 R's: reuse, recycle, and reduce. Okay, reuse could be immediately done. Sure, I don't give up on a towel, bath towel, after one use. I always use it as at least 6-7 times before I need to change it. So that's not difficult. I think many people would agree with me. Recycle, it is not as easy as we thought. In many cultures, including the United States where I live, recycling is already becoming much too expensive. But we can find ways, I'm sure, to use the recycled materials and use it in such a way that the cost factor can be beaten. But reduce, out of the question. I talk to many people, they all say, throw up their hands, how do I reduce? Tell me. So this has been a problem of research for me for many years. And finally, I really figured it out on the basis of what is a new worldview, quantum worldview. Quantum worldview integrates science and spirituality. But of course, spirituality means many things to many people. To me, it means transformation. You change. You change and then the world can change. Can you change in a way that you can reduce your needs? You know, the key was given by Abraham Maslow, a psychologist who lived in the 1960s. And produced this wonderful idea called hierarchy of needs. He said human beings have lower needs, survival needs. In that phase, of course, you cannot reduce things that you need for survival, you need them. But then, when your survival needs are over and you are not aware that there are higher needs that are calling you that you could satisfy, then what happens is that you develop a waste culture because you know nothing better. You think that that's all there is. Those survival needs are everything. Maslow pointed out, no, there are higher needs. Now, of course, that's psychology, not scientific, but now quantum physics, quantum science is telling us the same thing. Higher needs, that's what life is about. That's where meaning comes from. That's where purpose of life comes from. That's where salvation comes from. Satisfaction, intelligence, everything has to do with these higher needs. What are those needs? Those needs are for things that we feel passionate about. Thoughts. Most of all, intuitive values, archetypes that we value, like love, like truth, like justice, like goodness, like wholeness. Can you be passionate about your shoes for only a few seconds? Then you need another pair to be passionate about. Can you be passionate about love for your whole life? When have you not been passionate about love? Tell me that. You were always passionate about these archetypes, the values that we covet, the values that we want to live, the values that changes us, that transform us. So I figured this out. Reduction requires transformation. If you want to reduce your needs, survival needs, which are the part that is energy intensive, material intensive. If you want to reduce those needs, you've got to learn how to concentrate on your higher needs. And that requires looking inward, that requires transformation. And the quantum worldview is teaching us that. It's a worldview based on consciousness is the ground of all being. When we regard consciousness to develop consciously, to grow personally, creatively, to find happiness and intelligence, which are conscious properties. Machines can neither be happy nor intelligent, although people talk about machine intelligence, but that's not really intelligence. That's the ability of following certain logic to a certain conclusion through algorithms that we give the machine. Intelligence is to respond properly to any stimulus, any situation. That requires human consciousness. So, my answer to sustainability is simple. Become aware of the higher needs and learn to explore them, learn to satisfy yourself by exploring them. Your lower needs will automatically reduce. I know, I have done that. And you know, life becomes wonderful that way. It's not a sacrifice. Sacrifice is against the human nature. We should never ask somebody to sacrifice who does not find sacrifice to be joyful. When you are exploring higher needs, you give up your lower needs not as a sacrifice because you want to, because you need to, because you need time for exploring the higher needs. So where is the time to look at trivia? This is why you can reduce. And the economy can be sustainable if there are more people like me. Agreed. There are people who taught this before. Gandhi was one of them. E.F. Shoemaker, an economist, he was one of them. But they did not talk about transformation. They did not talk about worldview of the quantum. They did not talk about consciousness. They did not talk about spirituality. These are the things that are needed to make that reduction possible. Can one build sustainable economy? I have written a book called Quantum Economics, Economica Quantica. Read that book. You will find answers to sustainable economics there. It's quite beautiful. It's quite forceful. It will change your life. It will change your business. Thank you.